Welcome, traveler of time. You've entered a realm where kings rise, empires fall, and every crown carries a curse. Today, we journey into the life of Philip IV of France, the Iron King, a ruler whose hunger for power would ignite one of the darkest legends in medieval history. He was tall, handsome, and cold, a man carved from stone. To his subjects, he was the image of royal perfection. But behind that calm, pale face burned an unyielding will, a king determined to bend both church and crown to his rule. Philip's reign began with promise. He strengthened France's laws, expanded its influence, and filled its treasury. Yet wars drained his gold, and his pride demanded more. The richest men in Christendom were not kings or lords, but monks and knights. And none were wealthier than the Knights Templar, the warrior monks who had fought in the Holy Land and returned with unimaginable treasure. At first, Philip turned his eyes toward Rome. He needed money, and the church was rich. When Pope Boniface VIII forbade him to tax the clergy, Philip struck back, blocking gold shipments to Rome and arresting bishops who defied him. The King of France had declared war not with armies, but with power itself. Boniface answered with fury. In a bold decree, he declared, "No king rules without God's blessing." But Philip would not kneel. His agents invaded the Pope's palace, seized him, and humiliated him before the world. The Pope soon died, and Philip placed a new one on the throne, Clement V, a Frenchman who moved the papacy to Avignon under the king's control. Philip had done the unthinkable. He had conquered the church. But power feeds on fear, and Philip's debts grew deeper. The Templars, once his allies, had become his creditors. They owned fortresses, lands, and enough silver to buy kings. And so, Philip decided they must fall. He accused them of heresy, blasphemy, and secret sins. At dawn on Friday, October 13th, 1307, his soldiers swept through France. Hundreds of Templars were arrested, dragged from their beds, and thrown into dungeons. Under torture, they confessed to impossible crimes. Their leader, Grand Master Jacques de Molay, denied it all until the flames rose. In 1314, after years of imprisonment, de Molay was led to the stake on an island in the Seine. Before the fire was lit, he cried out, "Pope Clement, King Philip, before God, I summon you both to appear before his judgment within a year." The fire consumed him, but his words would burn far longer. Within months, both men were dead. Clement died first, his body and church consumed by fire. Then Philip, thrown from his horse during a hunt, paralyzed, dying slowly and in agony. The Iron King had silenced the Templars, but their curse had already begun. Philip's three sons inherited his throne and his fate. Louis X, the first, died suddenly at 26. His child lived only 5 days. Philip V, next in line, ruled wisely but left no sons. Then Charles IV, the youngest, died childless too. 3 kings, 3 deaths, no heirs. The great Capetian dynasty, rulers of France for 3 centuries, was gone. A curse fulfilled. With no heir, the crown passed to Philip of Valois. But across the Channel, Edward III of England, Philip's grandson, claimed it as his own. Their feud would erupt into a century of blood, the 100 Years' War. France burned. England starved. The plague followed, killing millions. Kings rose and fell, but none escaped the shadow of Philip's sin. And yet, from that darkness came light. The light of a peasant girl named Joan of Arc. Guided by visions, she led France to victory and crowned its true king. Her courage ended the war that Philip's curse had begun. Though she was burned as a heretic, her spirit broke the spell of fear that had ruled for generations. Centuries later, when revolutions toppled thrones and the guillotine claimed another French king, the story of Philip IV still echoed. Power without mercy destroys itself. Faith without justice turns to flame. And every crown carries the weight of blood. Philip the Fair had tried to control heaven and lost everything on earth. The Iron King's name would be remembered not for his victories, but for the curse he unleashed. If you've traveled this far through time, don't stop here. Hit like and subscribe to uncover more stories of kings, curses, and the secrets history tried to bury.